Hi, hello, and welcome everyone. I am Rob, your host for today, and today we'll be looking at the studio series Transformers Dark Side of the Moon. Dino, the Autobot. So, as we have a look here at the box, you might be wondering why it's a bit screw-iffy in the box. I already have had a look at him just to make sure everything was there, and it is. But having a look at the box, at the front, you see Dino, looking ready to fight, name, as well as the series, Transformers, Hasbro, more Transformers, going around to the side, Dino again, to the back, product shots and gobbledygook of many languages. To the side again, Dino, bottom, a lot of crap that we don't need to read. At the top, Transformers, Dark of the Moon. And that is all for the box. So let's get right into the product. So, having a look at Dino, now out of the box, he is quite small. So he is. I am saying that knowing that the Studio Series figures are normally small, but this is small, you know, like if you look at the size of it the size of him compared to my hand, I mean the lad is a bit small, so he is. Although that is, I think, going with accuracies, because I believe in the movie this lad is actually the smallest of the Autobots. I mean, he's Italian, so what do you expect, you know? And yes, when I say he's Italian, he does speak Italian. So he does, for all the few minutes that he's got in that film, sadly. Going off of the film and going off of that, let's dig into this lad. Let's see what he's like, huh? And we'll start all of that off with the sculpting and the paint. So, starting with the head. His head is sculpted very well. I mean, comparing it to the movie, it is actually quite accurate, so it is. With his weird, tiny lip mouth and the little silver scar line going down the center of his head, that groove there. So it is quite accurate with the movie. Looks very good. Clean, no paint bleed on the face whatsoever. So it is. And even with these weird antennae looking things back here, you would think some of the paint on his face would get scuffed from rubbing around, you know, like having to look that way or look directly up. Well, you can't really look directly up, but you know what I mean. But no, I haven't had any paint chipping with this guy yet, so it's all good so far. Going down to his chest, I do not know why this is not symmetrical. I don't know what the frig is going on here. One end's longer than the other, and I don't like it. It's weird. I mean, don't get me wrong. I respect and I love the off-symmetric look sometimes. But whenever it's like this, it looks like someone's frigged up the production. Oh, I don't know if this is just my copy or if this is actually what his chest looked like in the movie. So I might be just blowing smoke out of nowhere here for no reason, but it's just a minor nitpick for me, I guess. So, but paint wise and such like there's no paint bleed anywhere, and the silver dark gray parts here on his chest, here and here, are neatly done and are not smudged by any means. And especially this bit here, it's all neatly within its line. And it's brilliant looking detail here. See, I think there are like some pistons and wires leading from center going out. Looks good. Moving on to the arms. Really the only bit of we would be looking at for the arms is here. So it would be. And yeah, it's good. It's good. I mean, the only bit of detailing really is just that. Focus, god damn it. But yeah, although if you notice, there is a tiny, I don't know if you guys can see it because I'm using my phone camera, but there's a tiny smack of grey paint on his arm, and sort of just there. I mean, it's only, I think, with that arm, so minor gripe, you know. Hang on, want to see if you guys can actually see it. Right there. Where my fingernail is. In front of it. See it? You most probably are thinking, well, that's nothing. It's just a wee speck. And true. But it's my figure, and you know, this dude cost a bit more than I think it should have. So yeah, the arm, for what little detail it has, it looks good. I mean, he's pure red and only specks of grey, so he clearly looks so good with those colors, but he looks good. He looks good. It looks good. Shoulder, just the side of a car, so it is, just a quarter of the car's front. The wheels look nice, at least. No messiness on them anywhere. Looks pretty good, so it is. Not rubber. I mean, it's a studio class, what do you expect? But yeah, looks good. So going down, his legs, his very chicken bony skinny legs he's got. More good detailing, I would say, here. For like the knee joint here, you can see like what seems to be bearings and like pistons going down the lower leg on both sides. Oh crap, come back here. You're not backflipping your way out of this. I am reviewing you and you're going to stay. But yeah, his feet, interesting looking design for feet. I mean, granted, the dude does need it because he's a bit back heavy, as you can see, with his intriguing folding backpack as he got here. But hey, nice feet design, I would say. I mean, I thought these would be something like, you know that James Bond film where that lass, she got that wee spike shoe and she kicks in, the spike comes out. Sort of think that's how it would be for these things. They're like weird barbs or spikes that you would use to latch onto things. I mean, for his line of work, it would make sense. But yeah, anyway, going off of that, back to subject. It's very detailed. Got some nice, what looks to be wiring and pistons and work and such what. Lovely combination of the gunmetal grey and red. So that's nice. Both on same feet, so it is. So yeah, very nice. The color scheme for the guy is, yes, only red and gunmetal grey silver, but so yeah, he looks good. Color and sculpting wise, besides the whole chest thing, which he's pretty good. Now going on to movements and joints, starting off with head. You may have saw already, his head it's got a bit of limited movement, so it does. It can look this far right and only this far left, so he can look side to side. That much up and that much down. No 360 whatsoever because of his weird looking antenna things here. So that's unfortunate, but it doesn't really matter. Going to the arms, both of the arms, as you can see, it's got a ball joint here. So you can have good... Oh, and also it moves up and down because there's a hinge joint here that connects to that ball joint. So it can wiggly waggly up and down and such what. And as for the shoulder movement, basically a 360 for that. So yeah, pretty good. Going down here, more for transformation purposes, this thing is on a swivel. So you get that. That's more for transformation purposes, but whatever you can do. Elbow joint, just a simple hinge. Get that far amount of that much of upwardness, and I must say that's actually pretty good. You can do some good poses with that amount of bend. Also, you can make him look like he's just broken his arm. Make it look like you've just snapped his elbow. But nah. Wrist posability, just a simple mushroom peg swivel, Just a good old one of these. So yeah, and that's the same on both of the arms, so it is. Going no waist, by the way. For how he transforms, he's unfortunately got a lackluster of a waist. And I mean, that's unfortunate, but Studio Series. That's all you have to say. Studio Series, what do you want to expect? So yeah, going down with the legs, ball joints for 2 of the legs on the hip. So he does have good amount of, he can do interestingly decent splits, I guess. And he can kick that far forwards and that much back, which is actually a bit more than I was expecting due to the amount of crud that he's got on the back here. I was expecting the legs to not be able to move that far back, but hey, that's actually pretty good. And he's got I believe, yep, he's got a quizzical swivel on his legs that can do full 360 here, but that's more for transformation. But you can utilize those extra bit of posability joints to your heart's content, because yay for posability. Simple knee joint, about, I would say, 90 degrees on bend, so it is. So decent, you know, decent enough. Foot, unfortunately, his foot has on his, that's about it. That's it. You only have that forward hinge and nothing more. No side hinge, no toe bend whatsoever, just that. Which is a bit unfortunate, which does limit the posing a tiny bit, but you can work with what you got, I guess. Posability wise, could be better. Specifically for the legs and specifically for the feet. Maybe the head could have had a bit more room here if they made it where these antennae looking things were just splayed a bit more. His head could have done a bit more movability, and if they gave him a bit more of a neck, you know. But as he is right now, he is alright. He's decent enough. So he is. And besides, I mean, you can get him into some good poses, you know? Decent enough. I mean, like this. You can do this, whatever the hell this is. Like, you can make him look like he's doing Slavic squats, you know? Like, who does not like a good squat? You mean, actually, to be honest with you, I think he looks like he's getting ready to let loose, actually. He looks like he's been holding one in for a while, if you know what I mean. I guess he only really looks cool posability-wise if you have his weaponry, which we will get into right now. Come here. So, these are his only accessories, being his weapons. They are the blades that you do see him use in the movie, and they're blades. What else can I say about them? You know, they're decently detailed. I will say that they do have a good bit of detailing for the lack of paint that they do have. Would have been nice if the blade itself had a bit of shiny silver going down the sharp blade, and maybe some extra painting throughout here, you know. But work with what you got, I guess. So let's put him on him and see what he looks like with them on. And as we can see here, he looks pretty good with the blades. Like, yeah, he really does look, he looks better with his only accessories on him at all times, it seems. And they're quite accurate, I must say. For what little time you do get to see him in, transformed within the show, in the movie, they look pretty good. They look accurate enough. Like I said, I just wish they were painted a bit more. But, yeah, whatever you can get, work with it. But anyway, so seeing that we've now just simply flew through the accessories portion, let's go on to getting into car mode. So, removing his weapons and leaving him bare, like that, first thing you want to do is basically 2 fingers, like this, on his 2 antennae thingies here, put your thumb in his crotch, and just give a good pull, so his entire front will fold down like this. After you've done that, you want to take the arms, both of the arms, move them up like this, and that'll be the same thing with the other arm. Like so. And whenever you've done that, you go to the side, pull, just unfold this folding mess here, just unfold it like that. After you've done that, you want to come to the wings, his door wings here, fold down these things, both of them. So you do it like that, and finagle them to come down past the roof and just fold them in like that so they get out of your way for now. After you've done that, come back to the front, bring up the arms using the, hang on, move your butt, man. Sorry. Using the joint here, you want to move the arms as far as they can possibly upwards. And when you do that, you rotate this entire thing using a swivel joint that's here. You want to rotate that and have it in this position. Once you've done that, you turn them around. Oh god, look how long this thing is. Turn it around. And then strain it, make sure you strain everything out, because this thing will fold on you when you don't want it to. So you're going with the shoulder, you hold the shoulder, move in the arm. So it just here, you want to move it in to where the arm sits here. And this plugs into this front bit and a bit at the back. There's like a peg right there, you see, at the front. And that will go into a hole in the top of his shoulder. Just want to utilize the ball joint and all. Just give it just want to finagle with it. You're going to finagle with it. Hang on. Get in. Thank you. Oh, and also, there's a wee tab here, as you can see. It slots into a groove that was in this panel, as you can see here. You want those to line up as well. So, make sure you do that. Oh yeah, just remembered something. His weapons do actually store into his vehicle mode. So just, hang on. Before you do the arm stuff, or if you just want to lift up the arms like this, see these two holes here? You can take his two blades and plug them in there with there's like a wee tab thing or whatever it is here. You want them to face into each other, so you do. Oh god, come on. There. So yeah, they'll be plugged into those two holes sitting there, and they sort of will help with a specific part of the transformation and lining up things later. But going back to the arms, you want to rotate them like this, so they are in this position. You want that where this silver thing is facing you, so you can, and by doing it where you've moved it like this, you can collapse it in more to the actual center of the body. You also want to rotate the fists, and there's these tiny gray tabs you see here. You want to take them together. You need to line them up. It's a bit difficult, but whenever you line them up, you want to press them in together, and there'll be like tab holes so that they can fit the pegs in. And with that is that part done. We can now move to this. First thing you want to do is his head. Push it in. Just Fold it back, and these red things will also fold back a tiny bit. Make sure his head is facing forwards or facing towards you when doing it, and whenever you've done that, bring it up. You'll need to bring back this part a tiny bit with this hinge, and just try and get these antenna things underneath the hands, and you nearly had it, like that. And those blades I mentioned earlier will help keep his head in position, and it sort of helps secure everything. So yeah, that's nice. But going back to his legs, you want to add his hip. You want to rip his hip. You want to pull his hip out or extend it out. Okay, so show it better. Like this, gently pull, and it extends outwards a tiny bit. That will help allow it to clear some things. After you've done that, you want to rotate the leg, like so, and fold up his foot, like that. Once you've done that, move it back here. You'll be just trying to get it in between things, and make sure things are lined up. Oh, hang on, wait, forgot, me dumb. Hinge, there's a hinge here at his butt flap. This thing here is this hinge. You want to bring it down. It'll make an audible click, knowing that you have done it, you've clicked it and brought it down properly. By doing that, you can then move the leg into position. Like so. And that is the same thing with the other leg. Just like that. Once you've done that, you come to the arse of the car. And this flap, you want to bring down. And there's these two tabs. You want this slot into a tab that's at the back here of his hip. This hip that you've moved into place. You want to bring it out just a tiny bit. And slot in. There. You want to slot it in like that. Same thing with the other thing. This, I would say, be careful with, because there is a chance of you breaking it. Like, I don't know why they made it like this. It just, I don't like it when you have to bend the certain parts of the figure. Oh, for God's sake, get in. There we go. So you want it to be flush, so you do. And make sure you give it a squeeze just to make sure everything's in. Oh, and yeah. After you've done that, come to the doors and close them. Close them in and make sure this hole lines up with this peg on his ankle. Hang on. And as well as that, you want these pegs right here and here to slot into a peg hole that's here from a thumbnail. Is right from a thumbnail. There's a wee peg hole. You want to basically try and at this point, there's no real proper way of saying it. You're just gonna have to brute force it a tiny bit, and just be careful not to break anything. And that's the same thing with the other door. Like I said, just be careful with it, be gentle with it, and know when to be rough with it. After you've done that, that should be it all completed. And then, with that, you now have good old Dino Dio here in his car mode. Looking at his car mode here, it's very good. It is, I believe, it's supposed to be a Dino Ferrari. I believe that's where Dino gets his name from. But yeah, it looks pretty accurate to the real world car, so it does. The only big difference is there is no badge, no number plate, and that is, yeah. Also, there's no proper interior. You just, well, I mean, I guess it looks like seats there and there, but I wouldn't use them as seats if I were you. But yeah, he looks pretty good. Daintily small, I must say. Like, he sort of compresses and flattens down in this mode, so he does. And the Bring reference, here's a can of the elongated version. So yeah, you get that. If you're not really in the mood for small cars, I would understand, but it looks pretty good regardless of his size. So, it looks pretty good. Very nice. And also, very nice. He's got, like, they were also able to sculpt the, hang on, focus, goddammit. There we go. Headlights. They managed to sculpt in proper headlights. That looks pretty good. For the size it is, that's really well done. But yeah, looks good. All good. Wheels, function, looks nice. I must say that looks, deserves one of these. And okay. But yeah. With that though, I believe that will be all for now. I rate this thing a solid 7 out of 10. A 7 out of 10. So I would. But yeah, that'll be all for now. Thank you for joining in. Please leave a like, leave a comment, and if you are so obliged, subscribe if you want to, of course. But thank you all. That'll be all for now. Goodbye, take care, and good night.